I ain't had no hard day or nothing like that. It was just a common, regular, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So as I get it, I was kind of understanding and knowing what was going on beforehand. My big brother, Street Symphony, shout out to Street, he had let me know. He was like, if you could play 3 records for Davies, what would it be?
Now, where were we at? Where were we at, bro? Because you was in here dropping them gems, man.
Man,
break down what you were saying, bro, because you said something so prolific in us supporting like activists and how you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, okay, so check this out. I feel like the scope of what it takes and what it looks like to be successful and really just to be able to do something or be in a position to do something for your people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think the thing is a lot of people have a misconstrued idea of what business looks like.
Yeah, and that's where you stumped me.
Yeah.
So like
I give you an example. So you literally can give me, and you literally can throw out and say anything at all, and I'll be able to break it down to where you can understand, okay, this has to happen in order for you to have what people see as the business. Then you have the, like the non-negotiables to actually make sure it functions, the legalities and stuff like that. I think a lot of people, a lot of people's trauma and fears, like once they see someone else being successful, I think they get triggered, and their response is automatically going to be hate because it's something they don't understand. You got to think a lot of like now it's more black people that are entrepreneurs and who are seeking to do it, which is a great thing. But it's still at a point to where the ones who may have ideas as well rather turn around and say something negative about someone else's business instead of ask them questions to say, hey, well, how did you do this? Or how did you get started? Yeah. And the crazy part is, bro, you will be amazed of how much knowledge and information you can get from a person by simply just having respectful, notations of yourself. Like, if your character is respectful and you just ask, a lot of people are willing to give you the game.
Facts.
White, black, orange, purple, pink, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? I give a perfect example. So, I got a very strong gym, health journey. So I've been in the gym actively, you know what I'm saying? Making sure my mental health is good, making sure my physical health is good. So one of the things that I do is I'll go sit in the sauna. So my gym has a sauna, right? Every time I go in the sauna, my whole purpose is to try to have a conversation while I'm in there because it makes the time go by faster.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? You sitting there, it's hot. You just like, oh my God. Now you having a conversation, the time get to rolling. You like, darn, I've been in here for this long or whatnot.
For sure.
So the last conversation, it was a young guy. He was about 21, and he was into he was into like cybersecurity and stuff like that, right? He like, man, I'm going to school for it. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Excuse me. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in there, including me. So it's plenty of space. So the young guy was sitting to the left of me. I'm sitting towards the wall on the right.
Got you.
There's a guy that was standing up. There's a guy standing up by the door, and there's another guy sitting. It was like an L shape as far as like seating. So there's plenty of space or whatever, right?
I'm with you.
So one guy listening to music, we having a conversation just to try to bypass time. So, excuse me, the young guy was like, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I did, or whatever. So the guy that was standing up, once the young guy had said something that was in the range of, something that was kind of like towards what he was doing, the taller guy was like, no, try this and do this.
Ooh.
What about this? Have you ever heard of this? He was like, man, it's way better. You know what I'm saying? And then the first thing the young guy did was he looked at him and he said, thank you. What's your name? It's a mutual respect, right?
Yeah.
From there, the taller guy gave him so much more game on things of how to get it for free, where to search for it. I'm talking about, I'm sitting here like, how come everybody can't do this?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I'm seeing it more, especially with us as black men, and I love to see it. It's like, it's just a respectful nature. Like, people are afraid to just simply ask a question.
For sure. For sure. Because I think we were talking about, like, too, how we have to, like, support. You was talking about, like, starting whatever that business is, you know, putting that dead investment into it and, like, believing in it until you can get it to a certain place to where now it's self-functioning and paying for itself.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
That's the goal. You got to think, okay, let's take, you have a wonderful a podcast setup, right?
Yes.
So the goal for you, out of all the equipment that I see, of course, you got to think that costs you something.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, in whatever scope that may be, of course, you want to be able to make some money to pay off your investment.
Yes.
So the whole goal is for what you're building to get enough attention or structure it to where it pays you. You know what I'm saying? So once you break the threshold of monetization, boom, start getting paid for it. You know what I'm saying? When you get paid for it, it's like, okay, well, the money it costs to buy, these things over here, okay, I got that back.
Yeah.
Okay, now what? You know what I'm saying? You start growing more. Maybe you can do, it's unlimited, but you have to invest something to be able to get your money back, and then supersede that. So that way, if you want to travel, if you want to do whatever, like you have that ability to do that. But that's the structure of business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then you said something so profound where I didn't even think of it from their perspective. You were speaking on like how activists are in the lane, and we were talking about just how to weed out who we think is like trustworthy versus like the bad apples in there. Yeah. And then I think you proposed me with like an example of an activist, but it may not seem like that.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. For sure. Listen, man. Like people will, if it's in you, like people, I'll give you an example. So let's just say if I'm like, man, I want to be, let's real life example. Let's take Charleston White for an example.
Yep.
So I seen in an interview where he spoke on, he was like, man, he's a community activist. He tells you like all the different things that, he's done, he's doing, et cetera, et cetera. Now it got to a point to where he spoke on it. He was like, I was at a point to where I would say, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and these are positive things. Mm-hmm. And he wouldn't get a response.
Yep.
At all. Then he turned around and then he started, getting with the toxic side, you know what I'm saying? Like, like whatever. People get triggered. Now they want something to say that, but guess what? That is what people fed into to be able to blow him up. So now, because you got to think, now that everybody knows who he is, he now has a platform that could, for one, pay him more. If he was already getting paid or whatever, he can get paid now. Mm-hmm. On top of that, he now has a platform to be able to speak his piece and broaden his brand. His brand is going to allow him to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
It's like almost like he created a bubble inside of a bubble. So it's like
clickbait.
He got the out. Yeah. So like once you inside that bubble and you really want to know like in tune to what he's about, then you can get that more in depth stuff of what he's doing, like within the community, so on and so forth.
Cause guess
That's
what?
wild, man.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be interviews we'll never see or never search. Like people, and here's the crazy part: YouTube is so vast and so wide. We can type his name in. Mm-hmm. If it looked like he's in an interview and it's something that it could literally be the subtitle could probably community activist making a change in the community. Most people won't click on that.
Yeah.
If he in a suit, ain't nobody clicking on that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
they want to click on that King Von diss. That's what they want to click on. You know what I'm saying? But you got to think that is what's allowing for him to become whom he's trying to become. Now, again, like then the next conversation comes like, I mean, is he right or wrong? They say all publicity is good publicity, so is he right or wrong?
That's a hell of a point.
He tried to do it the clean way. It didn't work. Now you know what I'm saying? He's stepping his feet in the mud. Now everybody feel away. Is he right or is he wrong?
Right. And I was asking you about like, man, like with the culture, like, is that a bad thing that we don't tend to like look towards like the positive or good, or at least trying to understand, you know what I mean? Versus just feeding into like the negativity.
Yes. The reason why I say that is because we'll always have musically, art, sports, certain things we have. It's just certain things that's just in us. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't going nowhere. But why is that the only thing publicized or the only thing that we really show attention to? That ain't the only thing that make up black people. We can look outside and see all these inventions black people made. We don't even pour into that no more.
Oh, man.
I guarantee you, like, what's so crazy? I can possibly guarantee you, if you were to have a random conversation and have somebody point out five, you can go outside, or just on your way to Walmart and say, point out 5 things that black people created. And people wouldn't be able to identify who or what, or even what, even if you don't know the person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, or walk in the house and be like, okay, all this stuff, you know, this right here, this right here, that right here. It's crazy. I feel like, again, and using that example just to point out, a lot of people, they rather choose the, you know, like the negative connotations more so than the positive ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what everybody thrives off of. The bad thing is, it's like, why should somebody have to be a gangster to make gangster music? It was a lot of gangsters who wasn't a gangster who made gangster music.
That's true.
I give you a perfect example. NWA, one of the biggest cultural, successful, and monumental groups. They just wanted to get paid, bro. They just wanted to get paid.
That was it, bro.
When they wasn't getting paid, Ice Cube went, you know what I'm saying? Well, certain people, they went in the label like, hey, where my money at?
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, it's like the culture of Los Angeles is different than any other place in the world. So, you know what I'm saying? Again, that's normal. But most people who ain't never had an idea of what, you know, a gangster looks like, or what's the nature of it, or whatever, it's like it's going to be portrayed like that's what gangster is. No.
That's fakes.
No. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking nothing away from them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving an overall example. Like, to me, I've seen the highs and the lows of a lot of, you know, a lot of that.
Yeah.
Culturally, you know what I'm saying? I've lived in it. But again, it's like, it's one of those, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know, just to give the short, you know, just to give the short answer, people's perspective of what they feel like is what it is, it ain't that. It's like the same way how a person try to lie and put on just to get a girl or just to get some pussy. Bro, you don't, like, just be yourself.
Yeah, that's facts.
You know?
Yeah, he cooking, man.
You know
he
what I'm
cooking.
saying?
Hold on, you gotta get the air horn, man. Yeah, he ain't this motherfucker doing crazy. Hey.
I'm just saying, man. It's like, you don't have to lie. Just be yourself.
You ain't got a lot of kick it.
No, you don't.
You dig what I'm saying?
No, you definitely don't, bro. But people be lying, man.
It's crazy.
I think people have taken a new infatuation with lying.
Expound a little more on that.
Like, people now know that it's bad. They don't want to be lied to, but they will lie. They find it as a necessity now. Give you a perfect example. Something simple. Hey, let's just say, if you at your mom's house, you're getting ready to cook for Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. Baby, I need you to pick up these items from the grocery store. Okay, Mom, bet. I'll be right back. You go. You come back. You forget the macaroni. Baby, did you get everything?
That's one of the most important pieces too, bro.
You feel me? And I had to say that because it's hey, typically, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be triggered to be like, yeah. But you might slide back to the store and go get it again. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like, how come you just can't be like, nah, I didn't. I'm sorry. I'll go get it though. What's wrong with that?
That's facts. You ain't had to lie.
Or the biggest one that I see all the time in music. Can you rap? Can you sing? Can you write? It's lit, bro.
Man.
It is okay if you cannot do something. Just tell the truth. Because here's the thing. If you say, you know how people flick, man, hell yeah, bro. You got, man, what is this? All right, cool. Well, bet. Let's do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, now you done got put to the test.
It's game time. What you gonna do?
Instead of approaching it like humble and saying, I would like to learn how to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I know how I've been doing this since.
Do you think it's an ego thing though? Like from the jump though, do you think it's embarrassment if a person really desires and wants to do music, but they just don't know how to make like a structured song or?
Oh, for sure.
You get what I'm saying?
For sure. It's the lack of knowing. It's always the lack of knowing.
Because I will say though, it could be a difference, and I mean I might broaden the conversation a little bit, but say for instance, if like you get an opportunity that maybe could be once in a lifetime, however you viewpoint that in your thought.
Happens all the time.
You may get that opportunity and you may not know that you may not be fully prepared for that.
But you want
to jump at the opportunity. You're going to jump and you're going to take it. You dig what I'm saying? Versus, man, I ain't going to hold you. I ain't really that prepared. Like, they more inclined to just like lie.
Yeah, they are.
And sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes you got to tell the truth. But,
man, my thing is this. If you have an idea of what you're doing, like you've exercised it, you've tried it or whatever, and you have a liking towards what you've exercised, that's different. Your confidence may not be there, but you know what you're doing.
Facts.
Now, if you ain't never, you don't know nothing about where to start, where to go, what it look like, the program or whatever, bro, just tell the truth. Or hire you somebody to do it.
That's real.
But again, tell the truth. A lot of people, even in business, bro, people will respect you more and give you a shot just because you told the truth.
Ooh.
Literally just because you told the truth.
That's
man, I can't listen, I can't express that enough. But again, I think all of the majority of the choices made by people comes from the lack of knowing. Because, like, let's just say perfect example. Let's just say next week you get an email from Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
We love what you're doing here. We want to do X, Y, and Z with you. And you like, they give you a budget. Hey, the budget's going to be this. It's all in. We love to hear from you. Love to see if you accept our offer, whatever. So, first thing we going to do, they going to look at that number.
Yeah.
They looking at that number to see what they talking about giving me. Not what I got to do. Not how many hours is it going to take for me to do this. Not can I delegate this.
Yeah.
Not my brand is on the line.
Facts.
Now, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
They ain't thinking about the things that's going to last longer than that money, that offer. Cause that money gonna run out eventually, and you're gonna try to make some more.
Man, you talking that talk.
For real.
Hey, man, he is here talking that talk. Hey, man, look, hold on. Let's get it, because, man, we jumped straight into it. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all do not know who this brother is, this is a Grammy-nominated brother, talented producer. He's real humble with his work, man. Like, if you ain't in the know and know what the fuck is going on, hey, it's really, if you know type vibes, for real, man. Yeah. And I've been hearing about this brother for a little minute. That name has just been continuing to ring, and it's an honor to have him here, man. Y'all already seen you in here dropping that game. You dig what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, we have none other than Kangaroo 809 in the motherfucking building. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you having me, though, dog.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Bro, like I said, man, it is an honor to have you here, man. And, like, I just love when we could just hop into a conversation and you already just dropping that game, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, for the people that, like, don't know for real, where did it, like, I guess, I hate this cliche shit, but I think it's necessary to be able to tell that story. But, like, where did it start for you? Like, this whole journey?
Well, as far as music, excuse me, it started back in 2004. 2004. So, rest in peace, my brother Nigel. A friend of mine, we was just neighborhood, hanging out with my homies. So we getting ready to walk up the street, and one of our homies, he introduced us to, he said something about, hey, listen to this. Then he made some music. I'm like, bro, this cold. Like, you didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He was like, no, for real. He was like, I had this CD full of beats. Now, hear what I'm saying? This CD full of beats.
CD.
You know what I'm saying?
Some of them don't know about that, man.
Nah,
man.
CD
player, yeah.
But he was like, I pretty much make these type of beats, a CD full of them, and I get paid like $500-$600. Now think about it. Back in the day when you ain't got no responsibilities, you talking about $500-$600.
That's a lot too.
You like,
man.
wait, what? Like how? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's up.
So I'm just in amazement of more so what I'm hearing more so than what you can do. You know what I'm saying? And my boy Nigel, he was just like he was like, man, like, what is it? And that's when I was introduced to Fruity Loops. So he was like, it's called Fruity Loops. I'm like the cereal? He was like, nah, nigga, it's a program, you can make music, And I'm like, I'm really taken away from the whole situation. He keep going through different tracks and stuff, and I'm listening like, man, ain't no way you did this. Bro, that's crazy. He was like, yeah, I did it on my computer. He breaking it down and explaining it to me. And I'm sitting there like in amazement kind of. So from there, he was like, man, give me the CD. I'm going to put it on my computer and I'm going to try it.
All right.
So now I got the CD. We shoot straight up to his house. And like he put it in and he making it like now just instantaneously cold. I'm just like, I'm sitting here with my mouth open like,
man,
this shit is amazing. Like I'm legitimately like, I can't believe like you're making stuff like what we hear on the radio or like people make songs to. Like I was like, my standpoint was really just, I was amazed that people that I know could do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was kind of beyond our reach. We use it like, and what was so crazy, it was like, I would literally go up his crib every day and just sit and watch him for hours and hours and hours and hours. And I never wanted to make music at first. I used to just watch.
Just being a fan of it, like enjoying the process. My
homie is the coldest nigga in the world.
Man.
That was my whole, you know what I'm saying? That was my whole mind frame. I can't believe he doing this shit. This is cold. Then of course, your homies, everybody's a rapper. So they catch, they catch their ears on what's going on. They like, ooh, they get to rapping and all that. So we used to joke around and make like little burn raps and stuff like that for fun. hilarious. You know what I'm saying? So we listening to it nonstop over and over and over. So it got to a point to where we were just doing that. Like, I'm more so just a fan of it. Long story short, a couple months go by. He was like, I don't want to do it no more. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck you mean? Nigga, everything you make is like, it should be on the radio.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get that. He was like, no, I don't. He was like, I'm tired of doing this shit. You do it. And then I was just like, me? I'm enjoying just sitting here watching you do it. He was like, no, you do it. I'm like, give me the CD. At first, he wouldn't give it to me. It took a couple weeks. I asked him every day, like, bro, give me the CD. You told me to do it. Like, give me the CD. Give me the CD. Now I'm really itching and interested to do it. And I'll never forget, he gave me the CD on a Friday. I swear to you, it was the longest walk home in my life. I'm talking about, I jetted out the door and I ran. I'm talking about, I'm running home. I'm skipping down the street. I'm like, man, I can't stop for nobody. I don't care if nobody playing football. It don't matter. We playing baseball in the street. I'm not doing nothing. I'm going straight home. I go home. I was in my room the entire weekend. That's when I knew it was it. Like, once I ain't gonna lie, like I quit like 7 times. Like when I first started, you know what I'm saying? So like I was just more so like, in the essence of everything, I was like, okay, well, just trying to find out how to make beats, how to process it or whatever, how to program. And then from there, like once I got it down packed, I'll never forget, like the first beat I made, it took me a few hours. I was just like, at first I was like, man, why is it taking me so long? But once I finally got the hang of it, I started shaving that time down little by little. And then from there, like the rest is really history. You know what I'm saying? So, a bigger part of it is when I got that CD, I locked in that room, and that was it.
So when you locked in that room, bro, because that remind me of just like the Kanye shit. Like him saying, man, just locking yourself in a room, making 100 beats a day for 3 summers type shit. Mm-hmm. So like at that point, how did you figure out how to get like placements, your intention, your sound? How did you figure all of that out in those early stages? Because we had people that we look at for like inspiration when we first starting it until we find like our footing in the game. But when did that click for you and you knew?
As far as my sound goes, it was just certain things I would like to do. I think that was the biggest thing. So I indulged on that a lot. At the point of me, kind of indulging on like what I just enjoyed to do the most, I started paying attention, like, in times that I felt like I didn't have no inspiration to make no music at the time. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, let me go ahead. I just go back and listen to my music. And I started realizing, I'm like, okay, I feel like I have the most fun making this style or this type or whatever. So from there, I'm like, okay, well, I feel like this is this could be my sound or whatever. Mm-hmm. So going from there, and then when people start buying them beats.
Oh yeah, then it's up then.
Yeah, I feel like it took me a long time. I had an idea of how I wanted my sound to be, and I don't know what happened, but it just clicked. It was like 2009 or 2010, mm-hmm. And once it clicked, I just started numbering them. At first, I used to name all my beats. Producers know. If you know, you know. Like you'll go from naming them to numbering them to naming them to number them. Like especially in the beginning stages, that's typically what a lot of times what we did. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I used to name them at first, and then once it got to that point and it clicked, I'm like, this is probably the best music I've ever made in my life. That's kind of how I felt. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I'm like, now I feel like I get it. You know what I'm saying? Across the board. So then I would just start numbering them. So I got up to the high 400s.
That's
and then
hard.
I just went back to naming them.
Ooh.
So it seemed like anytime I go through a musical phase or the essence of growth, I just go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I went from numbering them. Once I got to, I think the last number I did was like 479.
That's fire.
And then I go from that to start naming them things that, you know what I'm saying, that are like a strong name, something inspiring or something funny or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just random. You know, but it went from that, and then I started numbering them again. You know what I'm saying? And then when I started numbering them, it was like, you know, I started, you know, peeping different stages and stuff. But I think, yeah, that the segue was really like, yeah, I started back then, but like once it clicked, that's when I knew.
Do you remember one of your first songs that you may have got like placement with or did that you was like, damn, this was beyond what I kind of imagined?
Absolutely, I remember.
What was one of those?
So the first placement, like, I think for me it was, it was more so that it was real more than anything. And I mean, then I also like things like that. I also keep in mind, because you got to think, if you're coming from nothing, or you know, you don't get that exposure, you don't really work with anybody or whatever, you will have a certain mind frame about yourself. You know what I'm saying? You might not necessarily feel like, you know, like you may believe in it. Like, I feel like this is the quality, or this is good enough. But when you do it, the feeling is different. Like, I can't explain. I never forget. So, I was working a job at a car dealership at that time, and my first placement was Dave East. The name of the song called Grateful, featuring Marsha Ambrosius. So I never forget. Now, I ain't had no hard day or nothing like that. It was just a common, regular, whatever, right? So as I get it, I was kind of understanding and knowing what was going on beforehand. My big brother, Street Symphony, shout out to Street, he had let me know. He was like, if you could play 3 records for Dave East, what would it be? And then, like, I thought about it. I said, man, I didn't, you know, at that time, people didn't really know that I was well versed with genres and styles. So I'm like, man, I'm finna send them that shit. I know I got something for that, nigga. I just got done with some shit like that. So I sent him some stuff, and at first, you know, you talking to somebody, you kind of have an expectancy whenever you having when you're texting somebody, you calling or whatever, but you don't really think, you know, he was making the move then, but I wasn't really aware. But also, you know, I'm working, so I'm kind of all over the place. I'm antsy. I'm like, you know, he asked me about this, so he was like, what about this? So I seen the name, and what's so crazy, I remember what it sounded like off the muscle without listening to it. Typically, you know, so many names, so many numbers. I'm like, bro, I got to go back and listen. You know what I mean? But everything happens so fast. You have to move fast, or you're going to miss it. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
I remember what it sounded like. I'm like, what, do you want something like that? I mean, it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's hard, but you know what I mean?
That's a real question to ask at that time.
Man, what's so crazy? Now, mind you, I was like, it's wide open. I mean, like, if you think it, I said, bro, if you think it'll work, man, do your thing. And I kid you not, I got off that day just as normal. I went to the dollar store. I remember the exact dollar store I went to and everything. I went to the dollar store, and I said to myself, I was like, I want to get some little mini candy with some Snickers and some Twix. And I was looking for something else, but by the time I came down the aisle, and then I was getting ready to go down the automotive aisle, he sends me a clip on Instagram of this nigga rapping the song in the car.
That's fire.
I broke down, boohoo, cried in the automotive aisle, and like, I think like what was so crazy, like, for, you know what I'm saying, for me, it was the biggest, most surreal moment. And I kind of get that same feeling when I get placements. It's not as intense. You know what I'm saying? But it was super surreal. It was more so like I just kept telling myself, like, this is real.
Yeah.
Like this, I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, this is real. I'm boohoo crying in the automobile in the dollar store.
That's hard.
I got my stuff. I sat in the car and I was just looking at it, just like, I can't believe what I'm watching.
Man, it give you that like nod that like, damn, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, you know what I mean?
I think another thing for me was, amongst how everything went, for me, another thing that people don't pay attention to, and I always say this because, again, I'm proof. All my producer friends got placements and situations and everything before I did. All of them. 6 Cents, Band Play, Chino, Chris King, every Greedy Money, like anybody who's a somebody.
Yeah.
They winning. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't never hate. I'm happy my friends is winning. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that makes me, it inspired me. I'm like, well, for one, they my friends. I want my friends to win too.
You want them to win, man.
You know what I'm saying? They put me up on games. Sometimes they might drop a jewel and say, hey, man, you can do it. Like, just keep going, whatever. So, in essence of that, it was almost like if Tiger Woods win the Masters and he put on that jacket. I feel like I was able then to put on that jacket. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
But yeah, man, that's a real feeling, I think. And then you got to think, when you achieve something of that magnitude, you think about every sacrifice you done put in from the time you decided to start, to trips, to networking events, to sleepless nights, to the times that you wanted to go out, but you knew you needed to stay diligent on your craft. You know what I'm saying? Man, I done ignored phone calls, missed out on opportunities, canceled dates. I've literally sacrificed so much of my life for those moments. So when it hit, it was like, it's all worth it. And it didn't get, I mean, that feeling is indescribable. It's definitely indescribable. And then from there, you know, I started learning, you know, how to stay diligent, how to stay consistent, how to keep my mind clear, how to stay ready. And it's a skill to that. It's not just, you know, a lot of people say that, but they don't break it down. I give you an example. Something I ain't never really even spoke on. So when it came to the point to where I had opportunities to like shoot for albums, shoot my shot at albums, I think the one that bothered me the most, but was my welcome to the industry, was I had a chance to submit some music for Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy. So I knew in my mind just how everything was set up. I'm like, internally, I typically will get a feeling, and I'm like, I know this album is going to be huge. I got to find a way to get on this album. So I'm taking shots, making music. You know what I'm saying? No response. Like we're moving, making moves. But the thing was, I had an idea, and it was so many different moves that were being made. It wasn't time for for what I was trying to get an idea for. It's like I'm trying to get these ideas. It's more so like, man, just make your best move and send it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then I didn't understand that. So everything for me was extremely sensitive. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's my music. I ain't getting no response. You're not used to people just not responding to you. Not. It's so much that you're not used to. So a lot of this stuff is triggering.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Understandable, yeah.
It's so many emotional parts to it that people don't speak on. And that's the part to where that pressure either gonna bust your pipes or it's gonna make you a diamond. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So in the essence of that, man, it was like I missed the deadline I finally had an idea. I kept asking questions. man, my bro was like, bro, just do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't keep stopping what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got shit to do. Like, bro, just make it and send it.
Yeah.
If it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If it's not, it's not. Like, he was pretty much trying to help me not overthink the situation.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's
For
like,
sure.
I'm so diligent and I want to make the album so bad. He like, bro, just do the fucking work and we'll handle the rest.
Yeah.
Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, quit overthinking. I missed the deadline by an hour. I was in the midst of making the beat.
Oh my God.
So one thing I learned, the style of the music that I was going to make was very similar to the last record that got selected for the album. I ain't going to say what it is, but I'm talking about hurt.
Man.
I'm talking about like, at that moment I was crushed, but that wasn't the only album that I was trying to make. It was a couple of different ones I had an opportunity for. Now, mind you, in that time, when you crush like that and you not really understanding, like if you, like you got to think, I'm understanding this is the highest level.
Yes.
You know, like when you get an opportunity, you literally gotta throw all your eggs in, because you never know what'll happen. Like they may select it, they may pick it, they may whatever, but like I was so emotional about the situation. It was leading me down a slippery slope, bro. At the same time, I might get a text message or I might get a call and say, "Hey, we working on this album. Since I'm sitting, I'm finna do X, Y, and Z in a couple days." Or I'm pulling up to a session or what, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But at the same time, it was so much to learn, and I think the biggest thing for me, even like fighting through the emotional hard times, like that's a big part of it that people don't have. They think they can handle it, but bruh,
I can't imagine like
it's
that feeling of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know as a producer, and I think one thing that I noticed about you, and like going down through your catalog of like stuff that you either produced, co-produced, or whatever. To me, like listening to it, it appears that like it was intention in every beat that you have made.
Every single last one of them.
You know what I'm saying? Whether if it was for a specific purpose of the song or whatever you wanted to pull out of the artist unintentionally.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I can't even imagine how that would have took. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna put like
I
this.
was right there.
It's that, but think that's one story of how many.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the bigger thing for me is, people, you'll see the success, or you'll see this song produced by me or produced or co-produced, whatever. And people excited, it's dope. It's a great feeling. It's an amazing feeling. Even if you locked in with somebody, but ain't literally, nothing is guaranteed unless you're getting a paperwork.
Yeah.
And it's signed off of, and then honestly, even then, it ain't guaranteed.
Man.
Like when the music come out, that's when it's guaranteed.
Yeah. That's fine.
Now you do have one-off situations to where it can get to that, but you have to have so much equity in the game to even be in a situation like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like it's nothing is really what people think it is. Like it's so fickle, it's so emotional, it's so like it's always changing too. Like
yep.
Like one, I give an example. I went to Atlanta one time, so I had this great idea, you know what I'm saying? Me and my CEO, we had great idea. I'm talking about we're going back and forth. So like once we came up with the idea, it's like bet. Now mind you, I'm having to find like towards the ideas, we have ideas of like specific sounds.
I like that.
So I'm having to find the sound engine and hope I have one to get me close so I can modify a sound and then create the pattern and then make sure it fits, it works. I mix it in and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then do that for other ones. And then the session finna get ready to start in an hour. You know what I'm saying?
That pressure, man.
For real. So I'm when I tell you I'm so locked in and I'm being asked questions and I gotta answer them. Mm-hmm. While I'm trying to, I'm trying to thread this motherfucking needle.
Yeah.
For this opportunity. And people ask me questions. I'm like, man, I'm trying to focus.
Yeah.
But like, again, that's an example. They get there. They love it. Absolutely love it.
That's beautiful.
Record it. Then the next day, it ain't gonna work.
Man,
people not ready for that, dog. I'm telling you, like, you'll be amazed. that is probably one of the biggest reasons why producers you see or know, like, they appreciate it so much, because they understand everything could change. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe if you get like I can't even say if you get a certain sound and identity, because I mean, if you make a hot record, they want to work with you because you made a hot record. Yeah. But sometimes that don't sound like your sound, quote unquote.
Yeah, and I think we was talking about that. Yeah.
I give you a perfect example. Zaytoven. Everybody know who Zaytoven is, right? This man made papers for Usher. Ain't nobody expecting that, you know what I'm saying? When they heard it, he you know what I'm saying? He didn't have his tag in it. So you got to think, when they came out with the record, it was just like, and it was a huge record. It was on the radio for a while too. Mm-hmm. But again, they used to Gucci Mane and OJ the Juice Mane and Gorilla Zoe, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
They used to that. But sometimes when somebody come to you, you gotta think, Usher, like, I want Zaytoven be everybody thinking he finna trap out. Nope.
Yep. Yeah.
Man, and now, like, think of how that changed his life. That big record going on, you know what I'm saying? Whether it went on Billboard or it's on the radio. If it circulating through the radio, it's likely it's a single. And then on top of that, that's one of them ones they're gonna put a lot of marketing and stuff behind. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna have to make some money.
What's your take on that? Is that something that you try to like target? Is radio singles, or you know what I mean? Like, what does that look like for you? What is your viewpoint when you making a beat? Is it, I'm trying to shoot for that?
No. So my viewpoint is always to create what don't exist.
I like that.
I think that's probably why I stand out so much. Because a lot of times it's so easy for you to get sucked into I want to make this, or, want to make some shit like this. Like, I feel, in my personal opinion, I feel like it's the producer's job to allow the artist to grow and stretch them past their comfortability level. That's when I feel like you get the best music. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it like this. Let's take a baby. If a baby just, before a baby can walk or whatever, when you guide them, you can identify and see what it looks like.
Facts.
Okay, you get it. Now, when they do it by themselves, you get excited.
Yes.
It turns into something. Now, when they walking, everybody's excited. From a producer standpoint, ideally, you know what I'm saying, metaphorically, that's what we try to do for artists. Real producers, that's what we want to do. Unless you want something that is just kind of in our bag, or unless that's, they want something that was done before or whatever. But, ideally, if you got a choice, you want to be able to stretch them and give them something that don't exist. Because think about it. When you can stand alone, you can add your sauce amongst, like their life or whatever they can provide or want to do. And then you can allow them to grow and do something greater. And I think once that works greatly, you can continue to cultivate that. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
It then creates trust. It increase, like you've been able to impede something in them they didn't even see they had themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Fire, man.
So it's like you want to be able to create something that don't exist, because by ourselves, that's our job. So I have to put you in my world and paint a picture so you can live in that picture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's probably my every single time that's gonna be my goal.
Man, I got a plethora of questions, man. They're just kind of rumbling through my brain. Since we kind of on the beat part, what does it take? Like, just for an example, I've heard some that you've like either co-produced for like Dave East, produced for Dave East, and then I've seen some where you go with like just like Don Trip, for an example. Like he's one of the most consistent. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite rappers, man.
Shout out to Trip, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you sending him a beat like Breakfast of Champions, like
I pulled up on him.
I
pulled up on him.
Man, listening to that particular album, just for an example, that beat had me in a like it held me. You know what I'm saying? What goes into like creating that? And then I want you to tell me about the story of like, so you going hand delivering this to him.
Yeah. So how it happened? One of a good friend of mine named Brown Photographer. Shout out to Brown, man. We used to kick it at Top Golf all the time. We used to just make it a thing. Just all our friends would come out with, we kicking it, we hanging out. So what's so crazy? We were talking mess to each other. I went to sit down. He DM'd me. I'm like, oh shit. I ain't never had no shit like this happen. I ain't never had no shit like this happen. So he had heard a record that I did for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Show love. Of course, I reciprocated that. And I was like, man, I would love to be able to, you know what I'm saying, play some records for you or whatever. He was like, bet, shit, let's set it up. Let's figure it out. Bet. Time go by. I went down there in the middle of the week. Nobody knew, like, you know, it's like a typical, let's just say today. Like, ain't nobody thinking nothing really going on. It's another day, right?
Yep.
I drive to Memphis. I ain't tell nobody. I pull up, and I have family friends there and family there. So I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Give me a heads up. They're like, okay. Yep. Bet. Okay, bet. I know, you know what I'm saying? And I come from the hood, so like the essence of what people are afraid of, that should make me comfortable. Cause I've been used to seeing it all my life. You know what I'm saying? So, so in essence, like, you know, I was in the respected area where we were, and I was just chilling, and rest in peace to his brother. What's so crazy? Like, you know, once he was like, who are you? Oh, I'm Kangaroo, da. And then he was like, man, I came in, showed him some love. We was in there talking, and he was like, that name keeps sounding familiar. And what's so crazy, I had been working so hard at that time, I didn't realize who he was. I didn't know that was his brother. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had sent his brother beats years ago.
Oh, man, because, his brother rapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't click. And he was like, bro, he was like, where you from? I'm from Nashville. He was like, it's Kangaroo. He was like, now I know you from, bro. He was like, bro, you a producer? And he was like, bro, you sent me some beats like 5 years ago. I'm like, damn, bro, you remember that? He was like, nigga, them motherfuckers was cold, bro. He went in the email. And he was like, what's your email? I was like, if it was from back in the day, it would be this. Pulled it straight up.
Man.
I said, oh, man. But again, that grind paid off. And it was a full circle moment. He called Trip immediately. Man, I know who Kangaroo is, man. I fuck with him, bro. You know what I'm saying? He gave the whole rundown or whatever. So he came when Trip finally came or whatever and showed love. It was just cool. And I never forget I had an idea of what I wanted to play him.
Ooh, that's fire.
Like, my thing is, it's like, I got styles of the music that he's already doing, but I'm like, I don't want to go that route. I want to play him my sound.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So I never forget I named the beat. I remember the first beat and everything. I ain't gonna say the name, but I went down the list and he picked out quite a few.
And fire.
So, and the thing is, Trip ain't showing no expressions really at all.
Yeah, he gonna be he gonna be stone faced.
If you know, you know. Like even like if you personally know him, maybe, you know what I'm saying. It depends, but like I can tell in his expression was changing. So in my mind, I'm like, I got one.
Yeah,
it was like one of them. I got one. So, you know, he did it a couple times. He was like, man, this shit fire. He was like, yeah, I fuck with it, man. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we played, vibed out. You know what I'm saying? Got to chopping it up a little bit. Same night. Once that session was done, I went back to the crib.
Fire.
Like nothing happened.
Fire, man. That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah, it was as a matter of fact, let me see, because it's a couple of projects that I did with him on there. And I'm finna tell you exactly too. Just so it's known, heard, and understood. Cause I'm not just on one project, I'm on a couple.
You're on a couple.
So, They Don't Love You, I did. It's 3 on there. I think the Gorilla album, and it's 2 on there, and there's some I'm leaving out.
You did that Gorilla song, didn't you? What was it?
Gorilla. That was on the They Don't Love You, but man, and what's so crazy? The first beat, what's so crazy? On the Gorilla album, the Where I Come From, that was the first beat I played him. I was like, in my mind, my first thought among, like, you know, because I had thought to myself, like, you gotta think when you're doing things at that caliber, you don't really, like, you may have an idea, but most of the time you don't. So you trying to figure out, like, okay, like, how do I want to go about it? Do I want to just, you know what I'm saying? Like, most people would typically say, well, he made some shit like this, so let me. You know what I'm saying? Let me play some shit that's like, you know, like what he already got. Like, no, he's already done it.
So let me find something else to.
Let me point him in this direction.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful.
That was my mind frame, and it worked beautifully. Yeah.
Hard. Man, tell me about, like, what's the experience of having, you know, somebody in your corner like Street Symphony, like you said? Having somebody like that in your corner that is established, polished, and can really, like, guide you through and, like, help. Like, you got somebody, like, to your shoulder to be, you know what I'm saying? With you, like, in this journey of being a producer and, like, finding other ways to, like, display your gifts and talents. You know what I'm saying? What is it like having somebody like that with, like, you know what I'm saying?
Worth more than money. Worth way more than money. Period. Point blank. Like, people don't even understand, like, when you have people in your corner. And think about it, like, people speak on it all the time. Like, relationships are, you know what I'm saying, it's worth more than money, this and that. Like bro has, like, he's like elevated me in more ways than I can count. Like, the development of how I think, what I decide to do, how I listen, how I perceive what I'm hearing. Like, the essence of making a person, like, from local to a legend. Like, it's like, I don't take that lightly at all.
Man.
And the crazy part is, like, I mentioned it before, but before I signed with him, it was certain things that really stuck out. You know, of course, I prayed on it just to make sure I'm making the right decision, but I could have signed with a couple of different people before. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I I would like no amount of money could make me, even if like my deal was up time wise, no amount of money, no millions, no nothing could make me sign with nobody else.
Hard.
But yeah, like the relationship based, bro, is worth more than money to me.
For sure, because that's a wealth of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, but you got to think. It's so. I'll put to you like this. The things that I've learned and the way that he has been able to pour knowledge in to equip me to be the best version of myself beyond what I know is priceless, bro. You got to think. I done been in the studio with some of everybody. Some people, I mean, like, you can, like, the people on the radio, the people, like, you know what I'm saying, local talent or whatever. And, like, you have to think, you can't just do anything in the motherfucking rooms. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
Like, you have, it's a certain etiquette. It's certain things you can and can't do. It's timings you have to learn. It's so much. Again, like, people think this shit is easy. They think that it's just anybody can do it.
Man.
Nah, bro. Like, even in essence, it's like when to say something if you have a great idea. If you should share it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's so much that goes into it. And again, like, he done taught me and poured into me so much so that way I can be very strong and equipped to understand and know how to thrive, not just exist.
Yes.
But, like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like he pours into me as I would to someone else, if not more.
And being able to be, like, intentional and take somebody under your wing like that and just giving them that so then they can take it further. Like,
yeah,
it's a beautiful thing, man.
Because my thing is, it's like, I think another thing that really allows for me to be as special as I am is, like, I have the core essence of what family really means. Like, what real loyalty is. Whether you loyal to a fault, like, or whatever, however you want to put it, it's like, I'm rolling till the wheels fall off, and when we gonna keep sliding after the wheels fall off, and we sliding too. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, the thing is, you got to think, like, he understands it, and I do too. The beautiful part is like, and here's the bigger point. I know this may be triggering for some, but I'm gonna say it. Two guys from Nashville in one of the most hating cities and one of the most, you know, what could be the most greedy, I feel like, have led the example. We're not the only ones, but we have led the example of what it's like or what success can look like if you really work together, you really stay down, you stay patient, you work with each other, you work for each other, and you bring the bread home.
Yes.
That has like probably my number one goal is to be able to prove that it can be done. So it really makes everybody look in the mirror. So if you really want to work together, if that's really your brother, that's really your family, you really fuck with him, prove it. Your actions prove what you talking about.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just say like, out of all the things he's been able to help teach and cultivate for me to be as successful as I am, I turn around and go get a number one hit in the country world. When they say, oh yeah, we want you to come to more sessions, guess who I'm bringing with me? It's a non-negotiable.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
You bring shit to the table, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If someone's willing to teach you how to build the table or be able to build something that is in addition to the table, when you know how to do that, you bring something to that motherfucker.
Thanks.
And then from there, everybody can eat, because I'm pretty sure, like, I think people lose that concept and they carry those words loosely, but they're not really willing to do what it takes to truly move as a unit and as a family. Again, that goes back to community. That goes back to really loving your brother, really loving You know what I'm saying? If it's all black people, do you love black people? Prove it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Like, if you really fuck with somebody, are you willing to give them time? Are you willing to give them knowledge? You know what I'm saying? And it don't cost nobody nothing.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? All the knowledge that he's been able to do, see, mistakes and all that, he pour in and say, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. So when I walk in a room and I'm around multimillionaires and stuff like that, I know how to handle myself. So that way they see, you got to think. It's also a reflection of him too.
Facts.
Like, okay, well, y'all are able to do this fast. Y'all respectful. I don't have to worry about nothing. Y'all look nice, dress nice, smell nice, all that. That's is creating a welcoming towards knowing that it's a quality of something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That shit means something. So no matter where you go, if you can hold yourself to a very high standard amongst what you've been able to achieve, everything can be respected and it can be matched. So that way people view you as the full package. Like, for instance, if it's been raining and let's just say if you like, bruh, we're going to go to this event, I drive. You like, I bet. If I pull up and, like, no offense, I ain't trying to say it like that. If I pull up in a Honda, you just get in. All right, bro, what's up, bro? You know, whatever. Now, if I pull up in a Rolls Royce, you can be like, damn, man, I ain't got something on my shoe. And you know what I'm saying? So that's my view. That's my viewpoint. It's like this means something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to carry it and you have to treat it like that, because that's the perception that you're going to give off. The quality of who you are, what you represent, and what you're trying to do will always be represented in how you carry yourself.
Facts.
So if you can do that just by default, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've always wanted to be able to, like, everything that I learned, I wanted to be like in me. So that way I'm not thinking, I'm just kind of being myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to think. Excuse me. I don't have to, like, ain't no fakeness, ain't no nothing. I'm just being myself.
Second nature.
Yeah.
It's in you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it ain't on me, it's in me.
Facts.
So, and then those different things, like, they eventually, you know what I'm saying, they'll eventually equate to success as well. Because sometimes a conversation could blow the whole situation. How you, like, and then again, it's also allotting of different things. Him as an executive and as a leader, they're looking at him like, okay, well, you keep good company too.
Yeah.
So I know that everything that's around you is of value. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And it's a black man.
That's hard.
Then they get to asking me questions. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm upholding myself correctly because I understand and know, like, the do's and don'ts of a whole nother level. You feel what I'm saying?
Ain't no weak links in the team.
Nah.
Everybody on point.
Exactly. So you got to think. They get to asking me and I can talk properly. I can give them an answer. I can possibly even give them some game.
Yeah.
So if I'm able to do that, they looking like, oh, well, this is nice. I'm interested now. He takes it to another level and I'm able to, you know what I'm saying, ride out my level too.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, what else you guys do? Then people then become intrigued of who you are, not what you are. You know what I'm saying? That is like a whole nother level. Like, that walks you in the rooms, that gives you conversations, that allows for people to know if they do drop jewels on you, you going to actually wear them to shine. You ain't going to put them in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? So, like, stuff like that, it matters, man. I think a lot of times, you know, the bigger scope, and here's the crazy part. All of this goes into being signed, being a producer in the industry. Like, a lot of this, it's not, and that's the thing that people get confused. It's not just being able to make some music. That's the part that's the non-negotiable. That's the non-negotiable. It's bigger than that. How do you respond via email? How fast do you respond?
That's important.
Can you communicate and comprehend? Are you willing to work together? Can you get this done? Can I trust you with a responsibility?
Yes.
Different things like that is where people tend to fail the most. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll tell you, just like for me, myself, man, that's where I'm trying to tighten up on, because I see like production is increasing. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, all right, now it's time for me to go out and start building a team. But it's with intention, just like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Making sure all the pieces fit properly. You know what I'm saying?
It takes time.
Yeah, for sure.
It definitely takes time.
100%. You know, I think anybody that like I'm dealing with right now, it has to be intention involved. It's got to make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just growing. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm one person. I'm a dad. I'm a father. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all of this. I'm still working too outside of this. So it get busy real quick.
Man, listen.
But man, you want to still make sure that you able to be where you need to be when you need to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Shout out to all the dads, dog. Listen,
yes, sir.
I'm a father too. I will tell you this. People have no idea if you went at the point that you were an active father and you're a good dad at that.
Yeah.
That's like a whole nother everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that amongst your passion, amongst making sure, you know what I'm saying, you get your work and your hustle on.
Facts.
Like, bro, that's it. It tends to be a lot. Now, imagine that at the highest level possible. Every day. A call could come in. You got to be ready.
You got to be ready.
You know what I'm saying? But again, I always encourage the idea like anybody can do it, but you got to want to. And the beautiful part is I always encourage the hard work first, because the hard work don't look like hard work once you here. Mm-hmm. It's a necessity. That's what I gotta get done. Hey. It's like hard work ain't hard work when you made it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you where you want to be, you starting to really catch the rhythm and you starting to get them reps in for real. And on any level, not just, you know, the highest of the highest, but you got to think those levels increase.
Yes.
So just imagine, like, it could be at a point to where it could be let's just say if I'm in a writing sessions or whatever the case is, if I'm invited, you got to think I have an opportunity to really maximize this thing. So you got to think. So are you just gonna bring one beat?
You talking that talk.
What if somebody get inspired and be like, man, I done gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Let's
like,
cook some more up. You gotta be ready.
Man, I just got an idea. This sounds like, are you prepared? You know what I'm saying? To execute right there on the spot and fast. Cause you gotta think, when you have thoughts and stuff like that, and again, this is something else. I don't know if people know this or not, but you have to think, if at a point to where something, in any moment, if something is inspiring or a conversation come about and it triggers an idea and somebody love it, are you able to like create or capitalize something new? Because like most people be like, man, well, I got this. You just killed the vibe because you just said that. It's like you're killing out. You're not even open to the idea of them having an idea. So you make them uncomfortable, directly or indirectly. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Then you just shot down an idea. You just try to put their idea in a box. So if they sensitive about their shit, they don't really want to fuck with you no more. They ain't gonna tell you that because that's gonna fuck up the vibe, and they don't want to feel like they're a fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you gotta think. You just boxed them in. So it's like, even just kind of like knowing how to talk, how to communicate. That's like I was saying before, it's a big part of it. Like, it's almost like you have to be the epitome of what a service worker looks like, or being a vessel. The same way you pour into your kid, you love on them, you give them attention time, nap time, you laugh, you feed them, you bathe them, you change diapers, you do all that. Well, as a producer, sometimes you a therapist, you a life coach, you know what I'm saying? You a big brother, you a big sister, you a whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Just to get the product out. Mm-hmm. And you got to think like real sessions ain't they not an hour or two.
Nah.
The smallest session I've ever been in that was probably like 6 hours. That's probably the shortest, and it got cut short. Normally, 10 to 12 off the muscle, if not longer.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to think. You have to diligently kind of cultivate and nurture whatever's going on in that room for 12 hours.
Yes. It's a delicate space. Like, with just being in there with some of my homies when they're creating, is you got to respect the space, and it can go wherever it goes. I've seen where they came in with just an intention of something, and somebody they didn't think was pulling up to the session pulls up, and everything switches. Let's respect this now. Let's do this. Let's do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing to like just watch. You know what I'm saying? I'm really inspired by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just being a fan of like music, I know that like creativity is, like you said, it's a very delicate thing, and it's. I think what makes musicians, artists so special is that not only are y'all able to pull from wherever y'all able to pull from, but it's something that is like spiritual going on. You know what I mean? Like, I also just admire that y'all can take something from like nothing and create.
That's a gift.
You know what I'm saying? It's for real deal a gift. You know?
Like you're right. I think a lot of it. I put to you like this, and this is a phrase that I used to use all the time. When you have put in your 10,000 hours 10,000 times, you can do anything.
Facts.
But it's been proven to the ones who can sit in an empty room, have a conversation, and say, "Oh, here you go." I'm talking about I've seen it, and you got to think the stuff that be created, you be like, oh my God, like how did you know what I'm saying? It happens like that. But again, like that's probably my favorite phrase. Like put in your 10,000 hours 10,000 times. That's that mind frame and that mentality of I can't say hard work. I mean, it's hard work, but that mentality of workmanship allows for you to be who you are.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So for instance, like most people still don't know. Well, not yet, but I've made every genre you could think of. When I say every genre, you can name one, and I'll probably name for every common one you can name, I can name one that you probably ain't heard of.
That is,
but yeah, legitimately, like, and the beautiful part is, it's like that's how I know it was a gift. I think that was the biggest challenge. I said to myself at one point in time, I'm like, so much trap, it's trap everywhere. I can do that with my eyes closed, but if no one else is making it, why don't I be the person that makes it? Because when those people come around, and I think they will, when those people come around, let's just say it was a big star, I run into them, because stuff like that really be happening. Or you hear somebody say, "Hey, I'm looking for da-da-da-da." I got it. How can I get it to you? How can I help you? What can I do for you? Is there anything else you're missing?
When did that idea of like, or your perception of like versatility, when did that like click for you to say, "Hey, this market is bigger than what I grew up on or what I'm used to, but I can think bigger too"? Like, when did that versatility click in, and where you got active into creating those different sounds and genres?
It clicked in before. I really started like building my buzz in the city.
That's fire.
But and what's so crazy, it was just so beautiful and powerful to me to hear something that I would have these thoughts and dreams. I'd be daydreaming, and then I can just hear something that's just so massive to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, whew. Like I want to make it, but I don't even know where to start. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, is this my gift, God? Am I supposed to? You know what I'm saying? Am I supposed to make this? You know what I mean? But like in the essence of me hearing that, I would always say to myself, like, in the times that I'm not inspired just to make what I need to make or what I want to make, that's when I'm going to go deep diving to see what those sound. Where are those sounds? Do I have them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
let me watch some videos. What are they using? Is anybody using what I'm using? You know, stuff. I would think things like that just to simplify the thought to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got a hold of it, I was like, oh, it's not even as hard as I thought. I'm talking that lit a fire. That was like it lit a fire on the inside of me. Like, man, I think once I got the understanding down or got the gist of it, when I was starting to get my buzz and my notoriety around the city, at the same time, I would I would challenge myself quietly.
Fire.
I'm making all these beats. It's a quiet room, ain't nothing that's going on. Make some R&B. All right, the room's still quiet. Make some pop music.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? Here go a good one. Room still quiet. Make some rock and roll.
Hey, man, listen.
You know what I'm saying?
Dog.
And I've merged genres. I've done some and I'm gonna tell you this. I think one thing that kind of helped me be able to, hear those ideas out to be able to create them a little faster was beat battles. Ooh. Yeah, I used to be in a lot of beat battles. So those things, because you have to think like the epitome for beat battles is really like transitions and like music. It's like musically triggering. It's like, how can I get your attention with something I can do musically that makes you go crazy? It's almost like musical dope. If you really think about it, like it's like I have to do something to trigger your dopamine levels to make you excited as fuck immediately.
Yes.
How do I do it? What does that look like? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like that, pretty much for me, it pretty much sent me down the rabbit hole of learning how to engineer and stuff.
That's fire. Like you just bumped into a whole nother lane of
because my whole thing was I used to ask people. I was like, I don't have a desire to record people. I just want to learn how to mix my music, and I may want to like do some effects or something cool. That's the only thing I want to learn how to do. But that turned into recording projects, albums, mixing, mastering. It turned into something completely different. Man. And I didn't have a thought or desire to do that at first. Wow. Yeah, I just wanted to do it for me so I can get me better.
Let me ask you something. So like when you speaking of that, of saying, man, just getting better or something, and like just being vulnerable with the creativity and letting it flow, how does your brain switch to like commercials, shows, like getting those type of placements as like a producer? When does that click? And also I wanted to ask you like how you stumbled into like doing the children's album and ultimately getting a Grammy for it, or like just letting your creativity flow, being in the right place at the right time, and just being versatile. Like, can you speak on that?
Yeah. So the ideas for commercials and different things like that, to be honest, like I've always been able to hear it. Mm-hmm. I may not understand how to make it, but I've always been able to hear it. So like right now, like I hear something in my head, it sounds like a little jingle or something. Like You know what I mean? But it's more so like those different things. Like it always came to me.
Mm-hmm.
But those will be those moments to where I hear something and I'm like, it feels good, or I like it. I don't know how to make it, or I don't know how to go about it, but I'm gonna figure it out. Like, let me find a sound that I feel like can get me close. Yeah. If I can get close, I you know what I'm saying, I play it out, I click it out, I figure out something so I can hear, and then I can see it, you know, in my program, I can see how it look. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm close according to what I'm hearing in my mind versus what I'm doing. Oh, I feel like I'm close. So let me just keep working at this until I can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I just give that time. You know what I'm saying? Until it like all comes together. But that's how it come to me. And that's how I know it's a blessing and it's a gift, because like it comes to me. Like I'm not thinking about no jingle.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a commercial that got me in the head like, man, I can't get that out of my head. Yeah, I don't have a situation like that right now. You know what I'm saying? But like every now and then it can be something random. It could be to me, I think one way that I can identify my gift, I can associate like colors with sounds.
Ooh.
So
that plays also into like textures and stuff that you want to give off like within the ear.
It
like
goes extremely deep.
Yes.
It goes extremely deep. But for me, like for instance, I like giving an example. This has happened and I've made a beat like this before. So it was at one point in time I was literally riding by myself. I was listening to the radio. Had the radio turned down. I don't really care to listen to the radio at the time. I'm like, all right, I'm going to the store. Mm-hmm. I forget what I seen. I think I seen a stretch limo, but it was yellow. It was just something about that triggered a sound, and it's almost like I heard the sound of what I seen. Like it's a long limo, so it'll be a long sound. Mm-hmm. But what does yellow sound like? In my mind, you feel what I'm saying? So it triggered that, and then it's damn near like my brain just put it together. And I heard, I'm like, man, I'm finna go home. I got to do this real quick. Like I try to make a voice note, and what's so crazy, I used to do it every now and then, but I would get mad because my voice notes wouldn't correlate towards that moment I had. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I would have to play whatever I'm thinking about over and over. Sometimes I wouldn't even answer the phone because I'm scared I'm gonna lose it. So like I play that over and over in my head, and when I get home, it's game time. Until I get this out of my head, everybody gotta stop. I can't say nothing. Thanks. I can't do nothing. I can't help you. If it's an emergency, tell me once it's out of my head, and then I'm good.
It's like that with me too, like with creativity, because it's like, bro, if I don't respect it, like creative will right there, it'll go. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
come and go for sure.
When you hear it, you got to act on it. You know what I'm saying?
Now I will tell you this. It's been times to where I would hear something so magnificent. I'm thinking, damn, I'm gonna hear it in a dream. Damn, I woke up, it's gone. Damn. It'll come back.
Man.
It'll come back and keep playing and keep in my mind. I'm like, I kind of look at it like, you know how back in the day, you finally, you know what I'm saying, bump up on the shoulder, you wonder, but you like, man, oh yeah, it's going down.
Yeah.
I would view I'm in my mind because I already know like the music come and go fast. So for anything to stay, oh, I'm finna kill this. Oh yeah, this mine right. This is mine right here. But those turn out to be them ones that everybody love. And the crazy part is, I'm like at the same time, I'm like, thank you, God, because I don't know where this came from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But those ideas sometimes it'd be the most random. It'd be the most random things. Sometimes if I see a group of birds, Lord, if I see a flock of birds, if I see them fly, and they're not black, it's gonna trigger a thought. If I see a stop sign that's not red, it's gonna trigger a thought. Because I've seen stop signs that were different colors. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So like different things like that, it allows for me to like. It's almost like I have a. Well, shit, the same way somebody could sit in the room and say, "Hey, let's make a song about this." I view it musically on the same. You know what I'm saying? In the same way. Yeah. Yeah, I perceive it in the same way, but towards like being Grammy nominated, like how that came about in the same emotional capacity where I felt like I was drowning, and I had friends to help kind of give me perspective, kind of get me back together or whatever, because I felt like I was losing control. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally, I was fucked up, but I was like, they kind of helped me. They gave me the knowledge base of like how to view something. You know, that's when more of the conversations is like, make sure, you know what I'm saying, you're in a good space, make sure your mental health is good, this and that. Make sure that, you know what I'm saying, it's okay to, you know what I'm saying, if you don't catch it, just catch it on the next go around. It ain't like life don't just stop if you don't feel like you don't succeed. You know what I'm saying? So in those moments when I got myself back together, I was told about it. And the crazy part is, I was in that moment. I was working on getting on 2 different albums. My intuition told me, do this. Ooh. And I'm like, but it's all right. That's exactly how I did it. Like I was like, but it's this person. I want to get. You know what I'm saying? I know they gon'. My intuition was like, do this. So the crazy part is, I was still making the music for their albums per se. I took the music that I was making for their albums and submitted it for the kids' album.
Hey man, trust in that. Listen.
So like, and what's so crazy, I submitted 5 tracks total, and they picked 3. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, God looking out. Thank you, God. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I knew. It was more so like I knew the best thing to do in that time and in that moment, and I didn't take it for granted. I approached it the same way I would for anybody else's album. Same intensity, same thought process. You know, the biggest part for me is to think your way through. That's a real big rule that I have for myself. You know what I'm saying? Just in life and everything. Like, I've grown to a point to where I understand that a lot of things won't initially make sense, and that's okay. But if they don't, just think about it.
For sure.
Everything can make sense to you if you think your way through. You know what I mean? How to cook, how to dress. How another way to go home if it's a traffic. You know what I'm saying? If it's like a wreck right here. Like, it's other ways to go about things. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So when I had that mentality, I thought my way through it. I was like, okay, well, this can kind of be like this. I can hear it doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, this will work. Sent it, boom. Kept getting those confirmations. Like, I kept getting those calls and confirmations like, bro, this gonna be one of them ones. Just watch, man. And I'd be damn.
That's so hard, man.
I couldn't believe that either. I couldn't believe it either. Like once, like, you know, it's a process of how they go up to even be in the essence of being nominated for a Grammy. But it's a whole lot of stuff you got to do leading up to that, and people have to vote on you. So they have to say that this is good. This is of the highest caliber. So you picking the best of the best. It's like the playoffs, the NFL playoffs, the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's right. So it's like, okay, out of the playoffs, where you got the Knicks, the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Heat. It's like everybody want their team to win. But think about it like that. When you're trying to go for that Grammy, you got literally the best of the best.
The best of the best.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So like it's it's definitely an honor. I don't take that for granted. But at the same time, I also look at it like this. I've been blessed to be able to be put in position to do these things and earn what I work for. At the same time, I don't really speak on it too much. Like, I will, don't get me wrong, but I don't want anybody to be like intimidated or feel like they are less than because I've been able to work to get this, and they and they have not, or maybe they wasn't in a position to do it. I feel like anything is possible for anybody. You know what I mean? So just because I've been able to achieve something high or of greatness, don't mean. I mean, I look at everybody, the same.
Oh, me too.
It's a big respect, you know what I'm saying?
I've been around some homies that just do some great shit, and it's just, man, we human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Human at the end of the day, man. You just great at what you do.
Yeah, and that's what it is. That's how I view it. It's like, bro, like don't get me wrong. I ain't like, you're not gonna treat me like no nothing or no anybody.
Oh yeah,
I'm somebody.
Yeah.
I'm him, not them.
Timothy, yeah,
I'm him, not them. Don't get that twisted. But at the same time, just in the most humblest way, as a human being and as a black man, I want to be a great representation of inspiration, because I was inspired to get here. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have all this shit figured out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I worked my way up to this point. I may have ran into somebody once and then they said something to really impact and inspire me to really, you know what I'm saying, to think about something different or to go at it harder or whatever, which led to a success. So, I mean, I feel like, to be honest, that's probably, I think because I feel like I understand the bigger picture a little greater, I try to be the example of what we need and what I feel like I either have or wish I had. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I focus more on that. More than anything, because again, we all need each other to be able to grow and do something bigger and better. But it takes for a person to understand that first. For sure. Then once you understand that, you got a choice to make.
Yep.
For real, people be like, man, the world's so fucked up. Help change it. Do something about it. So this is my standpoint, to be able to pour into people, help them, and share all the knowledge I got. Because I don't own no knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna share the game because it was shared with me. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I view it, man. I feel like everybody has a possibility and the ability to do it. It just depending on if they want to. Now, the thing that it creates fear for a lot of people is, again, the lack of not knowing is the greatest fear for most people. Which in some cases I can understand that, but you got to think, if you grounded and rooted and you really believe in who you are and what you're doing, it's like, why wouldn't you take a shot? When life is over, ain't no do-overs, bro. We ain't coming back.
Hey, it's over.
It's over with. Bro, you might as well take the shot to be the best person you can be and really live the life that you didn't think was possible. Facts. So my goal is to be able to create some stuff for my grandkids on down the line. I want to be able to look back and say our foundational history came because our grandfather literally set the pace and changed everything in the best way so we can have a chance. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I feel like that'll probably be, you know what I'm saying, dead or alive, that's probably be the greatest feeling that you can get. Like, you literally cultivated something in the best, loving, and healthy way to really make your family proud. Now, think about it like this. When we get older, I think about stuff like this. And I think they still do it now. Like, you be in a classroom, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Yeah. My goal is for my son to be like, I want to be like my daddy. Oh, okay. Well, what does your daddy do? And he get the list. Yeah. You feel me? So you got to think, my son could then, he can say, my daddy is a, you know what I'm saying? He's a award-winning music producer. Like, my daddy showed me what was possible when everybody told me what wasn't. I ain't worried about y'all. Nah, my daddy didn't tell me that. I'm good. Fire. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the biggest. I think that's one of the biggest goals, and being able to work my butt off to be in position to again provide something that doesn't look normal to us. Because everybody here's a bad thing. Another part of community. Everybody's mindset is stuck on the minimum. I don't know where the fuck we get that from. Man. How come we can't have the maximum?
You talking that talk.
You feel what I'm saying?
Why not?
I'm a simplify it like this. It's known and understood that we built pyramids back in the day. Yep. It's known and understood in slavery we helped build America. Mm-hmm. In your time right now in today's life, how come you cannot have the maximum? And people, you open up social media and they teaching you about credit. They teaching you about businesses. Mm-hmm. They teaching you about how to get your credit score right. They teaching you about Roth IRAs. They teach you about all this stuff, and you settling for the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I'm just saying, it's like not saying you can't get your entertainment on. That's what's up. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Speaking of which, make sure everybody check out All the Queen's Men. Yeah, we running that thing on up. We running that thing on up. We did. But in essence of that, bro, it's more to we can't get so wrapped up into the outlet that we can't. You know what I'm saying? We're not building something. We're not creating something. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's. I feel like I don't want to get older and look up and then look back and say, what did I do? Yeah. What did I have? How did I spend this time? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When I look back, I don't want to look back at my kids working at fast food.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Again, ain't nothing wrong with. I started out that way too, but at the same time, I feel like it's our job to be able to help grow. You know what I'm saying? Is to be able to grow and cultivate what we have. Yes. The beautiful part is, even if a person ain't a parent, you can still pour into your community. Yes. You an auntie. I know everybody aunties and uncles around this motherfucker. Man. Come on, man. You know what I mean? That's facts. You can be the best big cousin in the world. You have a choice. You know what I'm saying?
You have to think it's something bigger than you.
Yeah, but you got to know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, facts.
You got to know that. Facts. You got to know that. And again, when you know that, you act on it. Mm-hmm. But again, it don't take much. You can literally you can work together with his people. It's so many of some of the homies is putting together events and stuff for the kids, school drives and all kind of amazing and marvelous things. Even if you don't know what to do and you want to donate some money to these events that's going back to these kids. Yes. Show up to see how you can help. Take out some trash. Help pass out flyers. Mm-hmm. Help sell T-shirts at the event. It's ways to help. It don't always have to be at the magnitude where you feel like it's the greatest thing in the world or whatever. Man, just make yourself present and help do something. Thanks. You know what I'm saying? That's to me, that's the thing. But I can't get lost in the sauce out here. I can enjoy life, you know what I'm saying, in the times to come. But though I feel like in the times that you enjoy life is you're taking time to sit back and reflect on the things you've accomplished. Facts. Not on the things that don't exist. You know what I'm saying? It's create those moments so that way it can be of value, so you got something to be proud of that you can actually give back and help with. And don't be afraid to work with people. Stop being so fucking greedy.
Talk your talk.
You know what I'm saying?
We all play a part in this, man.
There's a lot of people that don't really speak on it. That is probably a big downfall. And again, that's why I want to be able to win so bad. Yes. On the highest level. Go, you know what I'm saying? In the studios with the biggest. And I'm here now. At the same time, I can't wait till it flourish even bigger because of the fact that I want to show and prove to the world that what we say and think is okay, everybody kind of have their eye, especially locally. Mm-hmm. Everybody have the idea of what Nashville is, what it looks like, the goods, the bads. Especially, I know I do myself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm born and raised here. from the east side.
Yes,
but
sir.
at the same time, excuse me, I'm gonna lead by example. So that way, when the light is on us, everybody has a chance and a choice.
Facts.
So if you doing your thing and you already been in your motion, you can catch the wave and get to be a part of that blessing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Whether we work together or not, it's totally okay, bruh. I just want you know what I'm saying? You got to be able to do something bigger than yourself so that way it can bless the next person. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's either in you or on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make sure that I do right and show and lead by example so can't nobody ever say that I didn't help. I mean, a person can't say that now. I just well, if you know me or if you've heard of me, everybody knows my character. Everybody knows, and it's consistently the same because I was raised this way. This ain't no facade. This ain't no fake. I don't move like that, but you know what I'm saying? It's in me, you know what I'm saying, to be able to help and give, you know what I'm saying, give and you know, help cultivate something. Community is big to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what you want it to look like though.
Facts.
But you know what I mean? But it's big to me. So if I'm able to share knowledge, some tools that'll help somebody that ain't got nothing to do with me, I do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Quiet as kept, but I'm saying it as an example now, do it. Please do it.
Yeah.
You'll never know. You'll probably grow a lifelong bond of friendship or brotherhood or sisterhood that you never thought that you was going to even need just by you showing love and cultivating something bigger than yourself.
Oh, man. That's a beautiful way, man, to end that motherfucker off, man. You talking that talk, bro. You was talking that motherfucking talk, man. I want to thank you, bro. Thank you for your contribution to the culture.
Man, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for what you're doing for the culture and the community. You're needed, especially here. You know what I'm saying? In the battles that we taking on.
Yeah, for sure.
Me, myself, I just willingly put myself in this fight. You know what I'm saying? To be able to provide a proper platform to help y'all, you know what I'm saying, share your stories, make more awareness of what y'all are doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, appreciate it. It's definitely greatly appreciated. And then thank you for having a platform because it costs more than money. You know what I'm saying? Doing this, you know what I mean? So these things are not taken for granted. And then you have to think when people are able to kind of cultivate and learn and hear something and get a different perspective, it allows for them to be able to see something different too.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, again, a lot of times, either a person's scared, don't know where to start, or don't know how to go about it. Yep. It's something as simple as a conversation, man. But be what you think should exist or don't exist.
Thanks.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Man, for anybody that may want to know, man, I guess if I get you out of here, my final question for you, after all this, and I think people could get a glimpse of what it is, but I like to ask people what's their superpower, man. What do you feel like yours is?
Real love. Yeah. Real love.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah. I mean, beautiful. You know, a person you can, and I feel like you can articulate that in many ways, but I feel like that's probably, if I had to say it's a superpower.
Yes.
Real love.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Hard, man. That is hard. Bro, because it's needed.
Yeah.
It's needed, man. So, man, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing, bro. Thank you for what you're going to continue to do. I can't even imagine, what else you're going to be able to accomplish, man. But just with you being able to respect, that creative will and, being vulnerable with the process and,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro? It takes a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I recognize that, and yeah.
I think it was said before, but creators have a responsibility that they ignore. I'm not ignoring my responsibility.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. The biggest thing for me is being able to, even amongst my answer, being able to cultivate something that helps you, whether it help you heal, help you get away, help you feel good, or something that's going to be entertaining. Because, amongst making big records for major artists, so I'm on the TV side too with the team. You know what I'm saying? So we running up TV shows too. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, sir.
But yeah, But yeah, I mean that's I feel like that's a part of my contribution and a part of the inspiration. But yeah, just to also show. Now I come from South Fifth. I come from the projects.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, it was called the jungle because the police department was right across the street, and they were scared to come over here when all the violence was going on. But just to show, man, you can literally come from nothing, and you can literally make it to the top. I say believe in God and work harder than everybody else, and you'll get there.
Hard, man. Thank you, bro.
Man, appreciate you, big dog.
Yes, sir, man. Let everybody where they know where they can follow you, man. And yeah.
Everything's simple. If you want to find me, you can find me on all platforms. Kangaroo 809.
Yes, sir. Hey, y'all just look forward to, man, what else he got going, man. This brother is a vessel, and he's needed. Yes, sir. Man, it's a blessing to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, motherfucking Kangaroo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you again, bro.
Man, for sure, man. Man, for sure. Much love, man. Much love, man.
That shit is beautiful, man. Hey, oh yeah. Y'all make sure, man, y'all tap in. Lost in the Sauce Pod. Y'all already know the drill. Lost in the Sauce Pod. Subscribe to Out East Network. You know what I mean? Sauceville 615. Y'all already know the drill, man. Everything gonna be the links in the description. And yeah, man. We'll see y'all next time. You dig?
For sure.
Peace.